with Eskimo Joe, we had put out a whole lot of records. We were really, really great mates, but we got to a point where everyone just needed to go do some other projects in their life. So we had a conversation about it, and we were like, well, let's take a couple of years off and then see how we feel at the end of that time. If we still feel like it's fun and cool to get into a studio and make more music, then we'll do that. And if we don't, then we'll keep playing shows and we'll enjoy that when we get together and do it. So some time went past, and it was just a funny time in the world where there was a lot of activism happening with the youth, to do with climate change, and then there was the Black Lives Matter movement happening at the same time, and this kind of idea popped into my head, and I just happened to be in Melbourne at the time, where Joel was living, and I said, hey, I've got this idea, and nothing might come of it, but should we have a jam? And I went over there, and I had the beginning of this chorus, and I just remember there was this really awesome moment where I had this moment which was like, ooh, say something, and then there's a moment where we kind of got to this "the only thing to fear is silence" part, and then that electricity that we used to get when we wrote songs like Black Fingernails, Red Wine just suddenly was there in the room, and we were like, oh, this is happening, this is real.
Only thing to fear is silence, silence. Say something, say something, say something.
The beautiful thing was we were there was no deadline of when we had to write this song. No one was expecting anything. So I just kind of took the song home, and I kept sending Joel lyrics, and he kept saying, oh yeah, that's cool, but keep working on it. And we took time, and then in the middle of all that, we kind of were like, well, let's do it. And Stu came in, and we started to workshop the song even more. And we'd kind of set a date to record this song, and we did it. And then like a week later, the whole global pandemic kicked in, and the world went into lockdown, and we thought maybe we'd put it on a best of or something like that. But we thought, you know what, let's put this song out. And it came out, and it felt like it was talking about everything that was going on at that exact point in time, but it kind of wasn't. It was talking about other stuff, but I felt like that was the greatest gift about that song. It kind of created this mirror for all of the issues that were going on at that exact point in time. And one of the coolest thing that happened, but I can't believe it took us this long, is Joel edited together the whole entire video clip by himself. I was like, when did you learn how to make video clips? We could have saved so much money over the years. How did that come about?
I was just, Melbourne was in the first lockdown, and so all of my work stopped and everything, and I couldn't sleep one night, and I thought, maybe I'll just make a film clip. And I never used iMovie or anything like that, but found some stock footage that kind of was evocative of where this kind of spooky footage of streets being empty, like in Paris and places like that are usually swarming with people. And it kind of had this weight to it. So I looked for more and spent all night kind of making this first, 2 minutes of this film clip. And then Sarah woke up, my partner, in the morning and said, oh, where were you last night? And I was like, oh, I couldn't sleep, so I made a film clip. And she was like, yeah, good one. And I was like, no, I did, check it out. And she was like, what? But
when did you go to Paris?
It was a classic COVID project, I guess, of trying something you haven't tried before. But it was actually really good fun.
I so thought your parents had helped you with your homework. I was like, this is really good for someone who's never made a video clip before.
But it was really fun to get together to make the actual song again, and it was written over the course of like a year and a half or something like that, from when Cav first came over to my apartment in Melbourne with an idea for a song that was about something else, and then we hit on that chorus and went, oh, this is kind of like a shout, Tears for Fears kind of feeling to it, where it's like a call to arms. And then the song had so long a time to develop. And then there was this serendipity of when the song actually came out and what was going on in the world, where it felt quite relevant.
Black Lives Matter, Me Too, all of this kind of social stuff coming to the forefront.
Yeah. And I think as well, musically, the song is like a Eskimo Joe flex. It's like got there's a bit of Die Hard about this song as well. There's a bit of like explosions, and it's quite dramatic. which is classic Eskies.
I remember we sort of got to the point where we're like, look, are we going to make some more music together? And I actually drafted up a little strategic plan for us to all get on the same page in terms of our vision. And one thing I said to the guys was, look, if we're going to release anything, it has to be a song that says Eskimo Joe's back. And we finished recording that one, and we're all just like, yeah,
we're back.
This is the song.
Yeah, I think it coincided with, we had just re-released our whole back catalogue on vinyl as well. And often when you make a record, you make the record and you listen to it, but then you start working on the next bunch of songs. You don't really go back and listen to your records. So it was the first time that I think all of us had like gone back to, from Girl onwards and actually listened to the whole albums all the way through. So it was like a refresher course on what it meant to be in our band. And I think we're all really proud for sometimes it's very hard when you're making a new album to love the album you've just done. And it's like an important process you have to go through just to kill your babies so you can, you kill the things you love just to create the new thing. And, and so we were, for the first time, we could actually really appreciate the music and be like, oh, I remember this. Oh, this is a great song, And so all those inspirations were in there. And so when we sat down to write a song, we're back on that same page, making an Eskimo Joe song.